Have you about given up hope thinking that there's no end to Lyme disease? Feeling more like you're lost out at sea with no one who cares, no one to throw a lifesaver, no one who wants to listen? Let me tell you that there are ways to get on the other side. There are ways to get healthy once again. If you look out at the forums, most people are trying to comfort themselves, really believing that there's no change in life. There can be. There really can be. I had it once myself. Really, really high fevers. Typically they were ranging 104, 104 and a half, and spiking up from there. It was a pretty miserable time. And those fevers, they ended up passing, and I figured out much later what that was and how to address it. But to tell you offhand, we've had countless people come to us from all different backgrounds. Some extremely debilitated people who were born with Lyme disease, who failed to thrive, couldn't function, they can't think, can't communicate, can't walk, can't get out of bed. People who can't work, can't do their household chores, they don't have the strength to eat, they can't communicate. People that have been so weak, they almost had to crawl from their bedroom to the bathroom. All get healthy again. You wonder, how is that possible? Well, it is. It takes work. It takes quite a bit of work. Because, see, there's a reason why you couldn't overcome it in the first place. And oftentimes the reason why you couldn't overcome it, why you got sick in the first place, oftentimes is a key on how you get well. But it takes very, very astute clinicians to be able to figure that out. And if you look out there, people are throwing this protocol, that protocol. All protocols are is a guess. Somebody's formula that may work for somebody, but it's probably not going to work for you. I couldn't tell you how many of those formulas we've tested on people, and they're so worthless that we don't use them at all. Formulas from the biggest names in the industry, no value. So I can understand your frustration. I've been really frustrated myself because all the keys to this are hidden. It takes a lot of digging, a lot of research to find out what the keys really are. And I'll share with you one of those keys right now, just so you know I'm not just talking. Diet's huge. It's absolutely huge. And if you look out on forums and different people's accounts, one of the biggest things that people promote is their desserts. Sweets, sugars, whether there's chocolate or ice cream or cookies or cakes or whatever you want. It's a very prevalent thing out there. So let me explain to you what sugar does in a simple form. Whenever anybody has a chronic illness, their body's full of a hyperinflammatory response. Sugar increases that. It's like throwing gasoline on the fire. So, you add sweets, you are increasing the inflammation throughout your whole body. And you go, well, so what does that mean? Inflammation causes pain. It also taxes your adrenals. Your adrenals are supposed to try and control inflammation. They control that through cortisol and other like hormones. When you add sugar, it makes the need for cortisol rise extremely high. That begins to dysregulate your hormones, which links into the HPA axis. It can dysregulate all of your hormones. Sugar dysregulates your body's ability to control blood sugar. With blood sugar being dysregulated, you can have really high highs and really low lows with no energy to heal whatsoever. Then you look at a gut response. The sugar in the gut changes the microbiota in the gut to become very pathological. The microbiota in the gut affect every aspect of your health. They make every hormone you have, they make every neurotransmitter you have, they control whether you absorb your nutrients or not. The lowering of the blood sugars will decrease your ability to think. Increasing the sugars increases your toxic load, makes the whole body toxic. In other words, it affects every aspect of inside of you. You think, well, I don't eat sugar, I do something else. Well, if we look at the alternatives of sugar, stevia is a big one. Stevia dysregulates hormonal axes in almost everybody we see. I don't know if we've seen even 5% of the people with chronic illness be able to tolerate stevia. And it feeds pathogenic things inside of your gut, which increases the toxic load. Xylitol, a significant amount of the xylitol comes from corn. Corn is toxic. It adds to the toxic load in your body. You say, well, I don't do that. I use sugar substitutes, artificial sweeteners, zero-calorie sweeteners. Every zero-calorie sweetener is a neurotoxin first, and it dysregulates your blood sugar second. So with all the dysregulation, if you can't curb your sweets, your appetite for sweets, you'll never heal. Now that's just one of a few tidbits on what goes on. If you're really interested in getting on the other side, and you're willing to make lifestyle changes to get on the other side, click the link below. We're going to give a webinar addressing the subject and go over a multitude of aspects on how you can get healthy on the other side. So I'd encourage you, click the link below, and we'll see you there.